Jagadadhar Sivasari Dharvatu Dhurvudha Chaitanyam Vishai God Jai Shri Krishna Jai Kalo Nitya Mahamudha Hare Raitam Jagadadhar Sivasari Dharvatu Dhurvudha Nitya Nanda God Hare Krishna Hare Sangha Kalo Nitya Mahamudha Hare Raitam Jagadadhar Sivasari Dharvatu Dhurvudha God Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Jaya Kishore 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 Jaya Kishore 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 and Hare Hare चंद्रमणि महाराज की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद दिव्यांग ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की नित्य लीला वरिष्ठोम श्री श्रीमद शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तविंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन धाम की वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की गंगा मैया जमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की The most merciful Lordship Shri Shri Kishore Kishori Bhagavan की पतित पावन श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की कलियुग पावन श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की दिव्यांग शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Interesting here. Okay, come little.
Namaste Narase Maya Kala Dala Dadaine Hiranya Kashi Purvacha Shilatankana Kalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahe Narsimha Vidaye Narsimha Simha Mahin Charanam Prapade Tava Kara Kamala Varenaka Adbhuta Shinga Dalita Hidanya Kashipu Tanu Blinga Krishna Hare.
भगवान की जय. ओके. नरसिंहदेव भगवान
की जय.
महाराज
की जय.
पाद की
जय.
और मनदे
हरि हरि बोल.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, thank you so much for all coming to the Sunday Feast program at the new Seva Kuj Dham on behalf of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We welcome all of you. A few announcements before we get on with the program. Again, as a reminder, we are still in the phase 1 opening of our Sunday Feast program, which means the program ends at 6:30. Again, the masks are mandatory as per the temple management guidelines when you are in the premises of the temple. So please follow this strictly. And all the children under 12 must be supervised by an adult at all times. If you think that kids are becoming restless, we have somebody outside in the garden area who will take care of the kids. They will read some story time. Also, we are starting the children's program department here is going to start 2 Sunday school programs. One is in the temple and one is online. You have to register once and you will be able to attend both. So for more information about that, Ram Raghav Prabhu is just sitting outside in the desk area. So please see him and register now. The Sunday school starts on September 19th. And for parking, so please do not park in the reserved spots behind the temple here. They are reserved for specific DT service department pujaris. Your cars will be towed if you do park over there or in the alley here. There's ample of parking space around here during Sundays. It's free. Also, Bhadra Purnima campaign. So on September 20th, it is said in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, whoever receives or gives a gift of Srimad-Bhagavatam on this day will go back to Godhead.
So please take this opportunity, and I think Maharaj will lead on that in his lecture today. So please do take this opportunity to gift Srimad-Bhagavatam or receive Srimad-Bhagavatam from somebody on this very auspicious day, which is September 20th. One last announcement, tomorrow is Radha Ashtami, and tomorrow we will have a program starting at 6 p.m. We'll go until 8 p.m. We have Abhishek, then we have Kids Bhajan. There will be a class given by Holiness Chandramali Maharaj again tomorrow, and then we will have prasadam to go boxes as we do every Sunday. So like that tomorrow we will also do that. So Radha Ashtami, the special festival, will be the flower festival. So please do come and take advantage of this wonderful festival where we will do flower abhishek of the deities. There is a lot of sponsorship opportunities. Prem Sarovar Prabhu is right there outside. They are sitting in the desk here, so he can give more explanation on the sponsorships that you can do for Radha Ashtami. So, and finally, to tonight's speaker, we have a very esteemed speaker. After a long time, he has come to our congregation here. His Holiness Chandramali Maharaj. Please welcome him with Hare Bol! Hare Bol! Hare Bol! So he has been a well-wisher of this community, and always whenever he comes, we have these lively kirtans and wonderful lectures. So please listen to him very apt with full attention. Very rarely we have our senior Prabhupada disciples come here. So please give full attention to his talk. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
You want to announce about the books? You can, yeah, maybe after is better.
Forget it until then. Yeah. I will come before you end March.
Okay. This is Govardhan Parikram, huh? Okay, so I got my color, you know. No, you got to keep the uniform. Okay, so Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jai Vallabha Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jai Vallabha Visaurandana Gajajanandana Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi. Pastyatya Desatarne Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I was requested to speak a little bit about Srimad-Bhagavatam and the up-and-coming auspicious Purnima, which is the 20th this month. There is a special program going on that anyone who gifts a person the Srimad-Bhagavatam on this day, as was announced in the announcements, is guaranteed to go back home, back to Godhead. This is called Falastuti. Falastuti means there's a particular special mercy manifestation within the days of the month and the days of the year in Vaishnav circles where a certain religious or spiritual act is performed and has great merit, great spiritual merit. Like for instance, just recently, one of my dear disciples in London left his body, wonderful brahmachari, Janakinath Prabhu. He came here many, many times. He was battling cancer for 4 or 5 years, but somehow or other he wasn't able to survive the battle. But he left at a time It was July 17th of this year. He left at a time where it's mentioned in the Shastras that anyone who departs their body at that time goes back home, back to Godhead. So he left at a time which is the Ratha Yatra season of Lord Jagannath it was a few days before the 17th and a week after that. So we see, the Lord gives special mercy to special souls who perform special, what we'd say, religious or spiritual acts on the right time and the right. So what is coming up is a great opportunity to glorify the Lord, because Srimad-Bhagavatam is Amalam Puranam. There is no difference, and this has to be emphasized, there's no difference between Krishna and Srimad-Bhagavatam. It's not simply a scripture, it's a literary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God Himself. That means one who comes in contact with Srimad-Bhagavatam in a devotional way is coming in contact with the full manifestation of Krishna in transcendental sound vibration or philosophical teachings. And so anyone who, takes advantage of this particular upcoming festival on the 20th of this month and gifts another personality, anyone, family member, friend, or someone, a set of Srimad Bhagavatam's special blessings are there. And so take advantage of that, because these opportunities do not come up so often. In fact, they are very rare. And what is Srimad Bhagavatam? It's as we mentioned, the literary incarnation of the Lord. Each of the 12 cantos patterns a particular position on the transcendental form of the Lord. The first and second cantos are the Lord's lotus feet. The third and fourth cantos are the calves of the Lord. Fifth and sixth, the thighs, all the way up to the smiling face of the Lord, which is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. His forehead is the 11th, and the 12th canto is the top of the head. So if Krishna manifests himself in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's none different than the deity. Like that. And as we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we can go deeper into the understanding of what is this process of Krishna consciousness. And we can come directly in contact with Srimad Bhagavatam. We're coming in contact with Krishna himself. Just recently, in fact it was today, I was reading where there are so many literatures that describes the glories of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. The Acharyas have given us a profuse amount of transcendental knowledge of Krishna's activities in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So what is the necessity of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was written 5,000 years ago by Vedavyas, who is an incarnation of Krishna himself, in order to bring transcendental literature in written form. So what is the need for Bhagavatam if there's so much knowledge of Krishna in so many other scriptures? Well, the answer is Srimad Bhagavatam was brought in order for us to understand and connect with Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani actually is the secret or the Gupta manifestation of Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the pastimes from chapter 29 to chapter 34 of the 10th canto describes Krishna's pastimes with the gopis in Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially the glories of Srimati Radharani. She is Bhakti Devi. She is none different than the Lord, but at the same time different. She is the internal pleasure potency of the Lord who manifests herself as pure devotion to the Lord. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. She's very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And anyone who gets the blessings of Radharani cannot miss getting the blessings of Krishna. If Radharani blesses you, there's nothing else to aspire for. Krishna's blessings will come full force. So Radharani, Radha Bhakti is the highest form. I'll tell you a little side ISKCON story. It's just a little humor. You guys like humor? I can't see you laugh, but if you can make it really loud, then maybe we can understand. So one lady, she joined our Hare Krishna movement, and she was a man hater. She hated men. What to do? That's half the population. So she was a man hater. And she joined. Of course, we let anyone join who shows a little bit of interest in Krishna consciousness. So she was practicing. So after some time, she came to Prabhupada. She said, Srila Prabhupada, I just can't worship that man Krishna. Prabhupada said, that's okay, Radharani's higher. So then she was satisfied. So that's true. That's not just some euphemism. It is, Radharani is the best. And as Srila Prabhupada writes in one of his beautiful songs, which is a very poetic expression of his bhakti when he was coming to the United States in 1965, when he wrote this beautiful prayer on the Jaldura, Radharani Sukhi Habi. If Radharani becomes pleased with you, then there's nothing more to aspire for. So tomorrow is her appearance day, and we get a great opportunity to get the mercy of Srimati Radharani on that day by worshiping her in different ways. What is the best way to worship Srimati Radharani? Well, that may be a matter of opinion amongst the different acharyas, but one of the best ways is to try to please Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. The Maha Mantra is Radha Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radha Radha. Radha Raman, Raman, Radha Radha. Another way to say the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And it's also correct according to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So Radharani's name is also included in the the Maha Mantra. So we can glorify Radharani nicely by enthusiastically chanting. And on that day, it's a very, very auspicious day to make a spiritual vow. Vows are important. It helps us to grow in spiritual life. Just like tomorrow, we'll be performing initiations tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock here in the morning, and 3 devotees will get first initiation. So we take what is called initiation vows. So we make a promise to the spiritual master, to the Lord, to the sacred fire, to the assembly of Vaishnavas, to follow the process of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra a certain number of times each day, and following certain regulative principles, which are restrictions. And that vow is so sacred and so powerful, as Srila Prabhupada said, if you follow that throughout your whole life, you will go back to Godhead. Once you make that vow on the initiation, and you think, well, maybe there's some reasons why it's not so important to follow, or whatever the mind may create, but if you continue with that vow throughout your whole life, then the words of Srila Prabhupada are none different than the words of Lord Shri Krishna. Because Prabhupada speaks only what Krishna speaks. And Prabhupada said, if you follow that your whole life, you go back home, back to Godhead. So vows are very important, and tomorrow is a wonderful day for making vows to Srimati Radharani. We can pray to Radharani to increase our devotion by increasing our chanting, increasing the the quality of the activities we perform in our devotional service. There are many vows. We can make the vow of everyday reading and trying to understand Srimad-Bhagavatam deeper. As we are mentioned, the glories of Srimad-Bhagavatam are as glorious as Krishna himself. So there's so many opportunities for spiritual advancement that is waiting for us to simply accept. And once we do that, we are guaranteed to move closer and closer. Because the purpose of human life is taktva deham purna janmani naitimam eti sorjona, to go back home, back to Godhead. And that is our home. That's why it says back home. It's like when you're on a trip and you've been traveling for a long time, sometimes you think, I just can't wait to get home. And there's a sense of peace and a sense of happiness, a sense of security that comes by returning to your place. So we all have that same place. It's in the spiritual world, where life is eternal, full of knowledge, and always joyful. And Krishna is always there, available for everyone, always. So that is our goal, to come, and Radharani is the mercy manifestation of Krishna, which will allow that to happen. Tomorrow night, when we speak on Radhastami, we'll talk about the glories of Srimati Radharani's appearance in this world. It's a beautiful narration of how Srimati Radharani appeared, and what was the purpose of her appearance, and how her appearance blessed the whole world. So she is also known as the mother of all of us. When someone asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada got every question you could think of. Somehow or other, the devotees always wanted to ask Prabhupada everything, and he was willing to answer. So, because it says that the wife is the better half of the husband, correct? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just making sure I am not saying anything wrong, I get confirmation, okay. So the wife is considered the better half. So then the question came to Prabhupada, what about brahmacharis? What do? They don't have any better half. Have they been lost, forgotten about? So Prabhupada said, no, Radharani's there. Radharani's there. So for those who somehow or other missed the opportunity to get a better half, there's still hope, because Radharani is there. She's the better half of all of us, actually, no matter what gender we may carry. So Radharani's mercy is always there. And she is Bhakti Devi. She's the personification of pure devotional service. Krishna's Ladini Shakti. Krishna has three main energies. It's Ladini Shakti, and what is the other two? One for manifestation, and one for knowledge, and one for transcendental bliss. She is Ladini Shakti. She is the manifestation of transcendental happiness, transcendental bliss. No one can please Krishna like Srimati Radharani. She knows Krishna inside and out. Another name for Radharani is called Krishna Mai, which is a beautiful name. It means one who is for Krishna inside and outside. So when it comes to the best of the best, she is the best of the best. As we hear, Lord Chaitanya says, Gopi Bhartar Padakamalayar, Dasa Dasa Anudas. He's giving the identity of each and every one of us who perform devotion. What is our actual identity? Our identity is that we are eternal servants of the Lord. Jiver Surukra Ai Krishner Nityadas. But Lord Chaitanya really puts it in perspective. He says, he goes through, I am not Brahman, I'm not Kshatriya, I'm not Vaishya, I'm not Sudra, I'm not Brahmachari, I'm not Grihastha, Vanaprastha, I'm not Sannyas. What am I? I'm Gopi Bhartar, Pade Kamalayar, Dasa Dasa. I'm servant of the servant of the servant of the damsels of Vraj. So Lord Chaitanya illustrates that of all of the great devotees of the Lord, there's nothing like the gopis. The gopis' love for Krishna is not possible to understand, and particularly Radharani. There's a beautiful story. It's kind of a little antidote, but it gives a little indication of the glories of the Radharani and the glories of the gopis. One day, Krishna had a headache. Krishna had a headache. He didn't take an aspirin. And so Narada Muni happened to be present. And Narada's asking, he could see Krishna was looking a little different. So, Krishna, is something wrong? Yes, I have a headache. Oh, what can we do? Well, there is a formula to relieve my headache. What is that? You have to get the dust of the lotus feet of my devotees. And if we place it on my head, my headache is relieved. Really? And Narada was understanding, well, who's going to do that? No devotee will put their foot dust on your head. And so he was responding to Krishna. Krishna said, that's all right, you just go and try and find someone. So he leaves, he goes to the sages of Dandakaranya forest. And they're happy to see, oh, Narada, you come, so nice. And they glorified Narada in so many ways. And then the question came, how is Krishna? Well, that's why I'm here. He's got a headache. Oh, really? That's not good. Is there anything we can do? Yes, that's why I've come. What's that? Well, Krishna said that only the dust from your feet placed on his head is the only way his headache will be relieved. Narada, what are you talking about? The dust of our feet on the head of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will go to hell. Don't ask again. So Narada thought, all right, I guess I was right. So he tried another group of devotees and he went to many places. Everyone gave the same answer. He came back to Krishna. I failed. No, there's one more. Go to Vrindavan and meet the gopis and ask them. So he left. He came. Narada Muni's here. Narada Muni Bhajavina Radhika Ramana Hare sings on his veena. He travels everywhere. He sings the glories of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. And they welcome Narada. Narada, how's Krishna? Well, I'm glad you asked. He's got a headache. Really? What can we do? Well, he said that if you give me the dust from your lotus feet, I'll take it to Krishna, and when I place it on his head, his headache will be gone. Before Narada could finish his sentence, they were scraping the dust off their feet and making piles. Come on, Narada, hurry up. Krishna's got a headache. Why are you hesitating? Instead of pushing him along. So then Narada said, well, don't you know you'll go to hell? We don't care. If it relieves Krishna's headache, even for 1 minute, we'll go to hell forever. Then Narada could understand there's no bhakti like the devotion of the gopis. And Radharani is the best of all the gopis. There are hundreds and millions of gopis. Out of that, there's 1,008 principal gopis. And from that 1,008, there's 108 that are even more glorious. From that 108, there are 8 Astasakis. And out of those 8, there are 2 that are the best of all the gopis, Chandravali and Srimati Radharani. And out of the best, Chandravali is actually related to Srimati Radharani. But out of the 2, Srimati Radharani is considered to be topmost of all. So tomorrow we get an opportunity to glorify Srimati Radharani. Okay. Yes, we need a change in colors. Okay. I guess red means that my time is running short. Is that what it meant? Okay. Just checking. We try to follow the protocol. So Radharani's mercy is always available, but tomorrow especially on this day. So make plans to come and celebrate Srimati Radharani's birthday. And there will be a wonderful bathing ceremony for Sri Sri Radha Krishna during the performance or during the celebration. And anyone who bathes or anyone who simply sees the bathing, there is immense amount of spiritual benefits available. So it's a glorious day. The success in our execution of devotional service is not only our endeavor in our efforts to serve, but mostly the mercy that comes by our efforts. Our efforts are simply a way to attract the mercy, but the mercy is what makes everything successful. If you get Krishna's mercy, you get Srimati Radharani's mercy, then you're guaranteed to go back home, back to Godhead. And these are statements by Srila Prabhupada throughout his talks and throughout the book. She is very, very dear to Krishna. There's a beautiful story. I don't know if we have time. Do I have time to tell a story? Yeah. I guess there's a few people here that are organizing the program. One over there, one over here. Okay. We do? Okay. Yeah? Okay. Jayadev Goswami, one of the great Goswamis of Vrindavan. No, actually not of Vrindavan. Jayadev Goswami. He worshipped Radha Madhava near the area of Navadvip Dham, also near Jagannath Puri. And he is the author of, what is that scripture? Gita Govinda. Very, very deep philosophical, spiritual expressions of loving devotion between Radha Krishna, very intimate, only for those who are on the very highest platform of spiritual knowledge or spiritual realization. So he's writing Gita Govinda, and when he's writing, he writes, and Krishna places his head at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. He wrote that. And as soon as he wrote that, he was thinking, what did I write? This is not possible. Krishna putting his head at Radharani's lotus feet? And this is. So he was thinking, all right, I'll just remove that. So he scratched it out, and he wanted to continue writing, but he went blank. He couldn't think of anything to write. So he's at his home. He turns to his wife Padmavati, and he says, Padmavati, I think it's time for me to take prasadam. I will go down to the Ganga and take bath. Please have prasadam ready when I return. So he leaves. Now, in the meantime, while he's gone, Krishna comes in the form of Jayadev. Krishna takes the form of Jayadev, and he comes, and he walks into the house. He goes over to the book, writes something, and then he sits down and he asks his wife Padmavati, is the lunch ready? She says, yes. So she offers it. Now it's Krishna, it's not her husband. And he's honoring the prasadam, and then he leaves some remnants, that's the etiquette, and then he gets up and leaves. She's thinking, where are you going? And then after some time, the real Jayadev comes in. And he says to his wife, Padmavati, is prasad ready? She said, what's wrong with you? You've been writing too much. something like that, husband and wife dialogue. So he says, "What do you mean? I'm just coming now from my bath." "No, you were just here." "What do you mean I was just here?" "Go look, you wrote in your book." So when he went over to look at his book, he saw that phrase that he scratched out was no longer scratched out. It was actually there in clear letters. Sri Krishna puts his head at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Oh, so beautiful. Then he understood, and he came to his wife. He said, "My dear wife, you are so fortunate. You were able to serve and take the remnants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself." So that story illustrates how dear Krishna, Radharani, is to Sri Krishna. And that is mentioned in that beautiful, beautiful expression of devotion, Gita Govinda. So we can learn a little bit about Srimati Radharani, and she's very kind. Prabhupada would say, Janmashtami, you have to fast till midnight. And it's like, 10 o'clock, okay? 10:01. 10:01 and a half. We're getting closer. It's like that, I mean, Krishna's, he's hard to reach. But Prabhupada said, mother is more compassionate than father. And therefore, he said, on Radharani's appearance day, we fast till noon, or we fast a half a day. Therefore, she's more compassionate. So these are some of the little, antidotes that we can meditate upon for tomorrow. And please join us tomorrow night for a wonderful ceremony in honor. The more devotees come, the more wonderful the atmosphere is. And all will take advantage of Radharani's by making a vow. As we mentioned, it's a good day, it's an auspicious day to make a spiritual vow on that day. Think of what you can do to increase in your Krishna consciousness. Okay, I thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Do we open it up for questions? Yes. If there's anyone that would like to speak something or ask a question, yes, in the back there we have Maturesh.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Is that right?
Dandavat Pranam.
Maturesh. Okay.
Maharaj, since not all of these people who are present today will be here tomorrow, so if you could squeeze in one more story, we have 15 more minutes. That's my request on behalf of everybody.
One more story on Srimati Radharani.
Hare Krishna, I have a story for you. I haven't been here in 38 years.
And how many years?
38.
38.
Years.
I think you're older than the temple. The temple. 38 years.
Mr. Barrows here used to bring me, and I'm from California, and I left that Dixie fire this year and last year, that complex fire. And I just want to say that Hare Krishna to everybody, the spirit of the love is still here.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your lovely, lovely blessing. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So I was asked to speak another story on Srimati Radharani. I was saving them for tomorrow. But it doesn't matter, I guess. Let's see. There's a few that are worth speaking. I won't talk about her appearance because tomorrow we want to herald that story for tomorrow, her actual appearance. But there is a very sweet pastime I'm not plugging my ashram in this particular, but it's a nice story. Radharani was supposed to meet Krishna at a particular time. They made a meeting place. And so Radharani's waiting for Krishna. And she's waiting, and she's with her girlfriend Lalita. Lalita's a very intimate friend of Srimati Radharani. Just reminded me of another story. I'm thinking I should tell that one instead. Both are good. Well, I'll tell this one. And then Radharani is saying, where is he? He's not coming. Lalita, go find him. So Lalita goes, and she goes to Chandravali's camp, which is the rival camp of the gopis. There's left-wing gopis and right-wing gopis. The left-wing gopis, they argue with Krishna, and the right-wing gopis always agree with Krishna. If you want life to be exciting, you have to argue once in a while. Not all the time. Those of you who are married, you know how to do that. Yeah, that's part of the whole program. So Lalita goes and she finds Krishna with another gopi. Oh my God, Krishna's caught. And she says, what are you doing? My master, referring to Radharani, is waiting for you, and here you are, you rascal. You're with another gopi. So she's angry. And she's running back to Radharani to tell her, Krishna's following. He's trying to apologize, but he's not getting anywhere. So finally he comes, and Radharani's there. Radharani's in Man. Man means anger, so she's not going to talk to him. So Krishna's trying to give his excuses why he didn't come, but she's not listening to anything. So now she doesn't want to talk to him. And she has a blue sari, and Krishna's blue, so she takes that blue sari and she throws it away. She doesn't want to see the Jamuna anymore because it's blue, because it reminds her of Krishna. And she has a blue bird cage, and she takes that and gets rid of that. Anything blue she doesn't want to see anymore. So now Krishna is thinking, what can I do? Radharani is angry with me. I have to figure out how to make up. So he goes to Vrinda. Vrinda, she's the CEO in Vrindavan. And she organizes all the activities. And he says, Vrinda Devi, can you come up with some plan for me to get back with Radharani? She said, let me think of something. Okay. He said, yeah, I got an idea. You dress up as an astrologer. And Radharani, she likes to have her fortune told. But you dress up as a female astrologer, so she can't tell who it is. So Krishna can look like feminine or male. He's beautiful in any way he looks. So he dressed up as this nice female, and Radharani's there with her girlfriends. So she comes, I don't know if it's he or she, and they said, oh, who's that? And then Krishna says, well, I'm an astrologer, and I heard that Radharani is not happy, so I want to find out, tell her her fortune so she can make her life happy. Radharani thinks, okay, it's a nice girl, but we've never seen her before. Okay, but let her come anyway. So he grabs the feet of Radharani, and he's reading her feet, because on the bottom of her feet she has all auspicious signs. And while he's reading it, he said, yes, I can see the problem here. You should forgive Krishna. Radharani looks at her girlfriend. She says, get that girl out of here right away. So that failed. So Krishna runs back to Vrinda and says, I tried. It didn't work. Do you have plan number 2? So Vrinda says, yes, we'll have another one. Radharani is very inclined to give dakshin to sannyasis. So you can dress up as a sannyasi. We have our, Prashanatma here. future sannyasi. So he now Krishna dressed up as a sannyasi, and he comes and he's walking with, he's got his danda, and he's got his begging bowl, and he's coming. He comes to where Radharani, and he says, "Oh, Mataji, give some bakshish." Bakshish, bakshish, oh, sannyasi, bakshish, bakshish, bakshish. So, Radharani's thinking, oh, sannyasi, very auspicious, we get blessings. So she comes and then she said, Mr. Sannyasi, I can see you've come to give us blessings, so please give us some blessings. He says, yes, that's why I've come, to give blessings. Please, let us hear your blessings. Well, Krishna's unhappy because you're not happy, and therefore you'll be happy if you forgive Krishna. And Radharani thinks, I can't refuse a sannyasi. That's not good. This is not a plug for my ashram, so just to make, this is something. So, and then Radharani is happy, Krishna is happy, and somehow she forgets, and then she gives Krishna her mercy again. There are many beautiful stories of Radha and Krishna, the loving affairs, and these are on the transcendental platform. It's not like ordinary boy and girl. If you read these pastimes and you think it's like anything else in this material world, your mind is in hell. And that's the understanding. There are two kinds of metals that we can use as a comparison to each. One is gold and one is iron. Iron is base and very profuse in quantity. Gold is rare and very, very valuable. So the pastimes of Radha and Krishna are transcendental gold. They're not like anything in this material world. Although they may look similar, they have nothing to do with anything material. They're pure pastimes of pure loving relationships. There's no tinge of personal desire. Everyone acts for the benefit of the other person. That is the spiritual world. And so when we hear or we read these pastimes, we should be very, very aware that these are nothing like boy-girl relationships in this world. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, so is that 14 minutes? One more minute to go, right? Okay, can I ask for questions? See if there's any more comments or questions. Anyone? Tomorrow we'll tell some more stories, especially the appearance of Radharani, which is very, very, very beautiful and wonderful to hear on her appearance day. So thank you very much. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vishavanu Suti Devi, Pranamami Hare Priya, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Just a short notice, Maharaj brought some books of his that he wrote, so we put them outside on the table, so if somebody wants, you can come and take them. It's only $10 per book. I will be there, so if you...